Okay, guys, just remember that if you want the stats, if you want match reports, if you want pictures and videos and all that stuff, remember you can go to at.eve-ic.net. That's the volunteer website where they keep all the hot stuff from the tournament. And go there if you're hungry for more Alliance tournament while we're taking a break. But for now, let's enjoy the last match of the evening.
Alright, this is Kill 2 here with Darius Johnson. We have the last match, Day 3, Death from Above versus Leguinea Romana. Death from Above in red on your left, bringing a CNR for the second time. That's a Caldari Navy Raven, a normal Raven, a Tengu, a Vulture, a Basilisk, a Hugin, and a Daredevil.
And the Romanian Legion has bought a Thrasher, a Vulture, a Tyrannus, a Hugin, a Scimitar, and 3 Maelstroms.
And Death from Above, not surprisingly, has brought their fleet in at maximum range of 50k from the center of the arena, while Leguinea Romana's come in pretty close to center there. And if I'm not mistaken, these Maelstroms will be micro-warp fitted and will move quickly across the field. We'll have to see. I think they were micro-warp fitted in the past. Oh, they didn't bring these last time. I thought they did. Someone brought Maelstroms last week.
Yeah, and the fight is underway. We have missiles being fired by Death from Above, and we have a mix of medium and ECM drones from Romanian Legion, all moving towards their targets now.
So, I was wrong. They're not micro-warp fitted. They're basically staying in place. I think they're artillery fitted. Have to judge off the rate of fire, but I'm going to hold that kind of as a firm thing for a minute because I don't know for sure. There's a big cab transfer circle going on here for the Death from Above team. We've got cab transfers going all over the place. I believe the Tengu is actually the logistics ship and the Basilisk is bait. I don't like this setup for this stage in the tournament. You've got to be able to kill ships, and if you bring a really heavy tank setup like this, you're not going to get that done, I don't think.
Yeah, and as you were saying that a Death from Above, the Daredevil has gone down. It looks now like the Romanian Legion has switched primaries to the non-Navy Raven. And they actually have some Warrior 2s heading in towards the target as well.
So yeah, I'm going to stick with autocannons, 800s on the Maelstroms, not artillery, which I guess they're close enough. They don't seem really interested in getting any closer to that fight, which surprises me with autocannons. You want to be really as close as you can. Even being at like 3k or so would probably be ideal. They have really long fall off, but every little bit closer you get means more damage since the optimal's so short. So I'm surprised they're not heading in there even though they're pretty close already. They're working on this Raven, but his tank's holding pretty strong and really no damage at all from Death from Above.
Yeah, it looks like Death from Above pulled in those light drones that they had that they were shooting Romanian Legion with and swapped them out for shield maintenance bots, which is what's keeping the Raven alive. But it's only at 25% shields now, and once that shield drops, the Raven will drop with it.
Yeah, I think you're actually right about that. I thought it was a joke at first, but, well, there is still a couple warriors out. But yeah, there's really no potential in this kind of setup. There's always teams that bring this kind of stuff where you just have this huge tank ball, but it doesn't, I mean, you're never going to break. What could you possibly run into that you're going to be able to break? They better not kill that Scimitar and make me look stupid either. Scimitar's starting to take quite a bit of damage.
Maybe they didn't want to really kill anything. Maybe they just want to kind of chill out.
This is the best way to spend a lot of time on EVE TV, for sure. It's either this or a Vigil or something to run around the arena. Yeah, damage totally stopped. It looks like Romanian Legion switching targets, trying to find the weakest point in that tank. Man, that Tengu has a local rep and he's pulling back really hard whenever they put damage on him. So I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't stay on the Raven. It looked like he was going to break for a while, but now it doesn't. So no damage whatsoever being sustained by either team at this point.
Yeah, everything that does get hit kind of gets rep back up. So at this point, we're kind of in a holding pattern as the FCs take over, switch primaries, try and find a hole in the other team's armor.
I'm really surprised with this Romanian Legion Maelstrom squad staying at the range they're at. I feel like this is maybe a misconception in a lot of Minmatar PvP. Minmatar is great for range when you're up against stuff where you can outrange them. So if you can abuse Maelstrom fall off against a gang that has like Vindicators, that's awesome because they don't have the range to hit you back at all because their fall off is so bad. But when you're against Kaldari or you're against like even a Mar, which can often out optimal your fall off, given the kind of the options in the fight, you're better off as Minmatar getting in close. You want to be inside optimal to get as much damage as you can, and that's real close. Even for a Maelstrom with big guns, it's still going to be like 3k or 4k maybe, and so they should really move to that range and put some high damage ammo in there and try to break the tank, but they don't really seem to care.
Yeah, and both teams seem to be doing a lot of swapping of drones. It looks like the Romanian Legion just kind of pulled in their Warrior 2s and swapped them out for ECM drones. We've been seeing a lot of them going back and forth on the Death from Above side as well. We have a Hugin now at about 50% shield, but we'll see how far that goes.
I just, you know, a good point was brought up that maybe the reason they're not pulling the range is the Hugin, because the Hugin obviously can hold them off pretty good. If the Maelstroms don't have propulsion fitted, it'd be hard for them to get close. But I'm looking at a Maelstrom right now that does not have a web on it. There's one that does, two that do actually. One of them's starting to pull in a little closer, actually, the one with the web, but I'm surprised this one that isn't webbed still just now starting to turn towards the fight. We'll see if maybe they take my advice and maybe swap to some EMP and try and really get all the damage they can out of those Maelstroms and break this tank.
Yeah, it's worth. Those Maelstroms are taking damage, but they're shield repping right back up. And interestingly enough, it seemed to be more than one for a second. Like they're kind of probing.
Yeah. Another thing we can talk about, since we have plenty of time to talk about whatever we want, in case anyone's unfamiliar with kind of what's going on with the cap transfer here. Cap transfer is actually efficient, especially with the Basilisk, but it's efficient to the point that if you transfer back and forth, you generate cap for free. So what this team's doing is running a logistics ship as well, but they're also running a ton of cap transfer to logistics ships so that basically they get free cap from nowhere to run a local tank on that Tengu logistics. So it's very hard. They can sustain this a really long time, unlike a lot of fights we've seen where they're kind of more dependent on cap boosters, or they're dependent on a buffer tank that has like a really limited amount of HP and will run out.
And it looks like they are able to alpha that Thrasher, and it goes down. I was going to talk a little bit about the Thrasher being alphaed and repping back up, but it didn't live long enough in order for me to do so.
So at this point, a convincing win for the horrible turtle tank from Death from Above. Hopefully that changes. Maelstrom's now right on top of this team for the most part. I think maybe they're listening to us. Looks like Death from Above going to try and take down that Tyrannus. It should be a little harder since the Tyrannus can just get out of here, which is exactly what he's doing. He's pulling all those drones and just running away from the fight. He might go down anyway, though. He's still taking damage.
Yeah, he is going to go down, I say, as he reps back up and doesn't die.
Ooh, and I thought that Death from Above was actually ahead when they took out that Thrasher. Ooh, it looks like the Tyrannus might go down. Those light drones still doing damage. But I guess Death from Above lost the ship earlier in the fight too. It was so long ago that I literally can't remember what happened. But if that's the case, Leguinea Romana might actually be in the lead at this point.
That ship loss is actually carved on a stone tablet somewhere in some language that is no longer spoken. It's so old.
Yeah, definitely. I guess it was a daredevil, is what it said on that stone. But, you know, the important thing here, someone's got to kill something expensive, or these teams could actually cost themselves advancement to the next round, both of them. They've got to get points, and if nobody's able to kill anything, they both walk out of this with 3 or 4 points. These were the two teams actually with the low points coming into the match, at 120 for Death from Above and 105 for Leguinea Romana. So they really need to produce a couple big kills, or they can't move ahead, even though all their ships will survive.
Yeah, it looks like the Roman Legion is switched over to the Basilisk, kind of hoping to break that, and then and break this wonderful repping chain that Death from Above has put together.
Yeah, but it's not working at all. I still think their best bet was the Raven. I don't know, this kind of thing makes you really thankful for E-War fights. I mean, E-War can seem kind of slow-paced at first, but these full tank setups are by far the most kind of brutal from an entertainment standpoint.
It's worth noting that this is also why we have a limit of one logistics ship per team.
The, well, I don't know. I'm wondering if they could, like, kill drones. There's a lot of rep drones in here, you know, helping out this Basilisk, and they could even start killing some of those medium and light shield bots to just get the tank a little bit lighter. Looks like they might get through the Basilisk, actually. They're finally getting enough damage to get him down to where he's going to go into armor.
Yeah, he's starting to go. He's still repping up a little bit, but he's starting to dip down. I'll thank my maker for that when he's gone.
This is so fantastic. The Basilisk is going to die. I'm almost sure of it. And once that happens, I don't know how much difference that'll make for the overall tank, because mostly all the Basilisk would have been doing here is cap transfer. Oh no. For some reason the reps just turned back on and he's pulling back like no problem. What happened?
I've decided that if the Basilisk goes down, their tank chain will break completely, regardless of what anybody else is doing.
I don't understand. I think they just let his tank drop, like, to be cruel, maybe, or something. There's no E-War anywhere that could have prevented him from being repped, as far as I know. Is there jam drones or something? Yeah, there is. There's jam drones. So, Solar Fleet has jam drones. It looks like, well, they must be on the Tengu, because that's the only reason the reps would stop. So they need a cycle where the Tengu is jammed, and then they need to put tons of damage. Here it comes. The Basilisk in structure now.
And that Basilisk is almost gone. Basilisk, don't yell at me. And it's gone. Woot!
Hey! So, now we'll see if the tank chain gets any weaker. There's got to be time running out in this match. Claw said 5 minutes some time ago. I don't have any idea how long. But now the Tengu going down pretty quick. He's got that local tank, but now he doesn't have cap transfer from the Basilisk, so he might run out of cap pretty soon here.
Yeah, that Tengu's already down to half shield, and I mean he's repping up, but he's not going to be able to keep up like he could with the Basilisk helping him out. Although he doesn't seem to have a whole lot of trouble.
Dude, he's still getting cap transfer from. He's getting cap transfer from the Vulture and the Hugin, even not just the two Ravens. They're all cap transferring to him. So unless they can run those ships out of cap, well, he's breaking. Maybe he will. Maybe that Basilisk was the single ship that was giving him enough cap to hold the tank. I don't know. I think they might be better off going with what they just did to the Basilisk. Try to jam the Tengu and kill the Raven or something.
You sure he's getting cap transfer from the Raven and not perhaps Satan himself?
I don't think it's Satan. That's my guess.
That's unfortunate. His reps are keeping up just fine, and we don't really have any damage being done to the Romanian Legion either. So here we go.
Yeah, I think they need to switch. I don't think they're going to be able to break the Tengu. I just still don't understand, like, did Death from Above expect to advance using this? All they had to do was kill, like, 3 ships, you know, kill 1 battleship, plus a little bit, and you're good enough. They had 120 points. This is, like, the only strategy that clearly says we don't want to advance to the next round.
Maybe this particular group of pilots from Death from Above are pacifists, and we're hoping to move forward in the tournament without killing anything.
You know, actually, what they may have been thinking is that Leguinea Romana would need to move through on points, and I think that a lot of teams might expect some setups like we saw early in this round, which is kind of battlecruiser heavy setups that don't have a lot of logistics, that are meant to just get points. And this tank setup actually would be pretty good against something like that, because it might be able to hold off the DPS, and you're up against a team that doesn't have logistics and you can just break it down over time. But it's kind of a gamble, because you get anything with logistics or anything with E-War and your setup falls apart, so I still don't like it.
Yeah, and it's also worth repeating something that you said earlier. I think that their best move at this point is probably to at least try and kill the drones that are repping up the ships, because they don't seem to be having very much success trying to break the tank otherwise.
And there was just some drones blowing up, but I'm not sure which team they're for. They're still, I'm guessing actually it's ECM drones, because I'm seeing less and less blue drones in this little blob and more red ones. So maybe that's what needs to happen. You know, the Romanian Legion needs to start focusing on some of these shield bots. I don't know, it would take a long time though. The match has got to be getting close to over, less than 1 minute now. So if they're not able to bring down this Tengu with some luck, like in the next 30 seconds, probably nothing going to change from now until the end of the match.
I'm pretty sure the pilots of the drones fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh, pilots of the drones?
The we're at about 50% shields on that Hugin, but I doubt it's going to go down before the match runs out of time.
I don't think so either. Claw's got 10 seconds in local, so Death from Above and the Romanian Legion seeing us out of day 3 in a pretty underwhelming fashion. Thank you very much, guys. There's no winner here, and hopefully neither of these teams advance. And I guess we can go back to Soundwave since the match is over.
Yeah, that is quite an underwhelming way to end the day. These teams not doing very well. Honestly, most of the teams after the break have been pretty much superb up to this match. It's just too bad. Remember that we have even more matches tomorrow. We have 8 matches in the afternoon and 8 matches in the evening. All the action starts again at 1500 Eve, where we find out the 32 teams going to our live weekend. It's going to be fantastic, amazing, and full of everything you like. Remember that we also have a lot of cool prizes. We have the €5 discount. The registration fee on accounts has been removed this weekend, so you guys can register accounts without having to pay the extra registration fee. And again, as we've mentioned many times, if you imagine there's no monthly fee, we're actually giving you free accounts, but you have to use your imagination a little bit for that one. Next week we will be giving away NVIDIA graphics cards. We will be giving away a truckload of Eon magazines, literally a truck. So you have that to look forward to. Otherwise, this is Soundwave from CCP saying thank you for a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1500.